Smoke more weed, Turtle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. I'm joined as always by my two counterparts, Jarett and Vin. We got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a hell of a show. As always, it's great to have the three of us together. Let's not waste a second. Sammy, start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ladies and gentlemen, 94 yards. Touchdown, Titans. He is the baddest man in the NFL, and he just took her to the house.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast.
Sick!
It's gonna be sick.
And we are back, folks. Once again, welcome into another edition of the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. I'm Sal, joined as always by Jarett and Vincent. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about tonight. A few things that kind of just came under the radar here in the news wire about certain players that could potentially be available. That, I mean, we're going to get into it, but it's going to be fun. But first, as always, how we doing tonight, fellas? Jarett, Vin, how we doing?
I'm doing good, man. Started up my Sunday bolognese sauce. I got a nice cooking. So after the show, pour some red wine, eat some pasta tonight.
Some gravy, you mean?
Nah, sauce, not gravy.
No, that's for another show. That'll be for an hour long. We can do an hour long show for that too. But
it might be the end of the show if we ever get into that debate real heated.
Yeah, it could be. But let's just jump right into it. From what I've heard over the past hour, it appears. There are rumblings throughout the league that the Vikings over in Minnesota could potentially be interested in hearing potential offers for their once-in-a-lifetime receiver that they have. Now, this is obviously going to stir the pot with any team that is in dire need of a receiver. We all know one personally. So, we'd be remiss not to at least bring this up and kind of talk about it. Jarett, I guess we'll start with you. You're Rand Carthon, and they're willing to make a deal. What would you give them?
Yeah, first of all, if they are willing to, and this is all true, you sit down and you talk about it. I am perfectly okay with giving up number 7 this year because you essentially picked Justin Jefferson in the first round this year. I'm okay with picking Justin Jefferson again next year. So that's a first this year and a first next year for Justin Jefferson. And I'll throw in a second next year as well, possibly like another fourth or something like that. We'll see for that. But I need that second round pick this year because if we go Jet and acquire him into a trade this year, I still think we go tackle second in the second round, which would possibly be huge for us because there's a lot of talent on the board at wide receiver or tackle like we've been saying. But yes, absolutely. You're stupid if you don't think that wouldn't be a fair trade. I mean, you guys can talk about other, scenarios, who you would throw in, a player, more picks. But I think significantly is if you're giving up, you're trading 7, you're trading whatever pick you got next year in the first round. You're giving a second next year and a fourth for Justin Jefferson. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. We screwed up massively by letting A.J. Brown go. We haven't filled that void at all. You could say DeAndre Hopkins all you want, but he is 31. He's on the other side of 30. So we need that young guy to pair with Will Levis, like we've been saying. And if it's a proven veteran like Justin Jefferson, absolutely you smash the hammer and you go get him.
Yeah, I think the issue with that is I'd be down for it as well. I don't think there's any Titans fan out there that wouldn't. But the issue is that would mean the Vikings have a quarterback on their mind. I think 7 is slightly too far back slightly not high enough for them to trade up to. I think if it was a top 5 pick, because you figure Drake May, Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe an LSU's quarterback. I don't think all 3 of them will be there at 7, or I don't think one of them could be there at 7. I think all of those guys have the potential to go top 5. So, unfortunately, I don't think that we're picking high enough for them to want to move up with us. I think if they move up, it will be with, a New England in Arizona, a top 3 or 4, spot to ensure they get the quarterback they want because they're not going to trade up to 7 in hopes they get their guy. They're going to trade up to 7 knowing they can get their guy. And I just don't think 7 is the spot for them because things could still get a little risky. They could get jumped by another team. But of course, I would be more than okay with trading 2 firsts and a third for Jefferson, 2 firsts and a third and a fourth, whatever. I just don't see Minnesota doing that, considering we're picking 7th and not top 5. So it's a bit of a pipe dream, and I don't see it happening. But if it did, absolutely take our first this year, first next year, a couple other picks to get Justin Jefferson, and then lock him into that $30 million deal range.
Yeah, listen, here's the great news, guys. The fact that we are going to have Will Levis for another 3 years on a rookie deal, there's a very good shot that one of these star receivers somewhere is just not going to be able to get paid the money they deserve because they're too good and their team is too good and there's too much money, or not enough, I should say. So whoever that player might be, if it's Justin Jefferson, if it's a player like Jamar Chase, I mean, I don't even know what these players' contracts are currently. I'm just saying a receiver of that caliber, it could happen any year. And at that moment, they should go all the frig in. But, it's not happening. We're not getting Justin Jefferson. Frankly, I think it would be worth more than 2. I think they'd want more than 2 first-rounders for him, to be honest, anyway.
You say it like it's impossible to get. But let's talk about like the whole entire severity of the NFL. Teams are trading for star wide receivers to surround their young quarterback with talent. We've all seen it. We all talked about it. Huh? We know. Exactly. I mean, we see it all over the NFL. So, like, why can't we have that? Why not us? Why can't we go out and get, the Stephon Diggs, the DJ Moore, the Justin Jefferson, anybody? Why can't we do that and make that trade? The AJ Brown trade that, shocked everybody in Titans Nation.
Well, yeah, listen,
we traded him.
I have a lot more confidence that it's possible with this regime. I genuinely do. I think Rand Carthon will stop at no cost to take this team to the next level. And I don't think he's one to second guess himself. So if he has his eye on something, I think he's going to pursue it to his best ability. So, it could be us. I'm just saying, it just with a brand new coach and a second-year GM, I think it wouldn't be something they would really want to consider right now, considering that's just really we're all in. I mean, you're investing your future in one player. And hoping that the quarterback and him can make a huge impact in the next 3 years. And it's very likely, but I just don't know if they're going to be willing to take that big of a leap when there's still a lot of things that this team needs. And there's a lot of draft capital that needs to be used on some of these positions that need to be filled. So we'll see. But, God, I mean, if the news ever broke that it went down, it would easily be the most historic day in Titans history. I mean, this guy is beyond generational, Justin Jefferson. So, we'll see. We could dream about it. We didn't think Clowney was going to happen. We didn't think Julio was going to happen. We didn't think Hopkins. We really didn't. We didn't think any of them were going to happen. And there were a lot of reporters that said, nah, it ain't going to happen. And it did. So never say never when it comes to Titans off-season acquisitions, but it's certainly a pipe dream for
it's an ultra aggressive move that makes sense for a team that feels like they're a stud receiver. But like you said, we have so many different pieces that we need to add in there. I don't think it's a move, like you said, it's a first-year coach, second-year GM. It's an ultra aggressive move that you're hanging your career on, maybe. And if it doesn't work out, but I don't see it happening. It's we're not there yet, but hopefully we will be soon. And you brought up Will Levis being 3 years left. Usually it's probably, if he's the guy, only 2 years, because after that third year is when you're able to extend them, and they can play hardball, not show up. So
I don't take Levis as that guy, though. I really don't. And
when you're looking at $50 million a year, you turn into that guy potentially.
Yeah. But then he can't keep talking the talk then, because he's talking the talk right now that Super Bowl is all I care about. Yes. And if he's gonna that way,
if we get to that point, that means the second and third year were phenomenal years, so I'm okay with that. If he's talking about getting extended after that third year, that means these next 2 years have to be more than stellar. So we'll see. But it's all hearsay for now. I don't see it happening. I see it's doing the logical thing, the not conservative approach, but probably taking all if he's there. If not, we can talk about maybe moving back a little if someone wants to trade up, or taking the next best player available, whether it's Malik Neighbors or Romo Dunes, whoever that might be, and then building throughout the draft and allocating a lot of the money we have in free agency on the defensive side of the ball.
So we talked about the offense a lot, whether it be free agency, who we want to acquire, for the wide receiver room, who we're going to draft with the offensive line, who we're going to pick up with the offensive line. Let's take it where Vinny's going right now with the defense. Now we have all this money. Now we want to allocate to a position, right? Who is your smackdown first person you're going after on the defensive side of the ball if you're giving somebody a check? Like you guys talked about, there's defensive interior lineman that we need. Chris Jones is out there. Don't see that happening. A guy like I would like to see happen, Justin Mad whatever, the defensive tackle from the Baltimore Ravens. Love him. DJ Reader, another one. Sheldon Rankings. Fletcher Cox, another guy that can come in for to help Jeffrey Simmons if we lose Autry. On the edge, you have Brian Burns from the Panthers. He's not going back. He's going to be looking for a new deal. Do you pair him up with
Harold Landry?
Harold Landry. You get rid of Arden Key. I don't know what you do there. And then linebackers. Like, what are you guys doing with linebackers? Are you going to try to do like a Patrick Queen? Or are you going to try to put all your eggs in a basket? Ooh. Have a guy like that come over with Al Shire?
What's he, 31?
Who, Patrick Queen?
Yeah.
Patrick Queen. I got him right here. I'll let you know how much.
I guess he's 31.
But the answer question before you keep going is
24.
What the fuck? Oh, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of someone else, not Patrick Queen.
He's 24.
Smith maybe or something like
that.
Maybe.
Yeah. So you have that, and then also I would love that big cornerback, like what we're talking about. Like you have Snead.
That's it. No, that's what I was gonna say. For me, that's it. That's number one. Like I'm like that. Like he's the guy that I want because he's not just a talent. Like that exchange with him and Zay, like that's who I want leading my secondary. Like he's a fuck with me and find out guy, and that's kind of what you need. We need a leader for that secondary as well, because just as much as Jeffrey Simmons is a leader in that front, KB was the guy that kind of handled the secondary and whatnot. And I don't see anyone that stepped up to the plate yet for that area of the defense. And he seems like he's got that personality. So that's my number one target defensively. I think absolutely they need to keep Autry. I think 2 years might be a little steep, honestly. I think if he'd be okay with a 1 year deal,
1 year, 10 million.
8 million, whatever it's going to take, he deserves to stay next to Simmons because they got great chemistry together. And then, but for me, it's Snead. Number one, Snead all the way.
I do think there will be, whether it's Queen or Snead. I don't see Brian Burns really. I see us maybe re-signing Arden Key. Or is he a free agent? We only got him
Arden
on a
Key?
Yeah.
No, Arden Key is not a free agent.
I want to keep Key, Al Jair, adios. Go dance.
I mean, Al Jair runs sideline as a linebacker. Not if you pair him with a guy like Queen. I don't know if they both play the same position, but I feel like they would complement each other well. You can make that work. That being said, though, whether it's Snead or Queen, I see us making a big splash on the defensive side. To go get, like Sal said, like you said, that middle linebacker who's the leader on the back end. I would be okay with handing a blank check to Snead, that's for sure.
So there's another guy that we should worry about now because we obviously have a void. Everyone's saying Kayvon Wallace.
He played decent last year.
He stepped up. I don't know if I would give him the reins next to Hooker right now. He would be like a swing safety to me. If you want to go after somebody who someone's very familiar with, our defensive coordinator, Wilson. Now, Geno Stone out of the Baltimore Ravens is a free agent. He had 7 interceptions last year on the back end. He is graded one of the best secondary. I think he graded at 85 point something per PFF. So I would definitely target a guy like that for Hooker. So just keep your eyes and ears open for that name, Titans Nation and you guys, because I see a reuniting. Somebody from the defense, the Baltimore Ravens is reuniting with Wilson in Tennessee, and maybe one or two. So just keep that in mind.
I actually think you brought up Amani Hooker.
That Wi-Fi
down the field. He's not a guy that Rand Carthon signed. What do you say?
I said that Wi-Fi.
You were cutting out. You got to restart that whole.
I'll probably need a new laptop. This guy's I've had this since college, but maybe you guys can buy it for me as a wedding gift. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Send it on over.
With the invite, send it over.
Yeah. It got lost in the mail. The invitation.
Okay.
Right. What was I even saying? Jesus.
Monty Hooker.
Oh, Monty Hooker. I could see him being a cap casualty. He carries a pretty big number. And he's not someone that this regime brought in. He was a John Robinson guy. I like him when he plays. He's a difference maker, but that's when he plays. So I'm not sure what his exact number is, but if we can get out of that deal and save, close to however, 7, 8, 9, 10 million a year, don't be surprised if we move on from him and give Wallace a more, short-term team-friendly type deal.
I'm excited to see what receiver they got because with each day that passes, it seems obviously pretty evident that the T. Higgins pipe dream is coming to an end. I really just don't think they're going receiver at 7. So I'm just really curious because they obviously need to get somebody of fair talent level because this team is incredibly weak depth wise at wide receiver. So no matter what, I'm not going to be jumping for joy, no matter who it is, whether it be somebody like Gabriel Davis or one guy I would be really hyped about is Michael Pittman Jr. That's kind of one I'm still holding on to. I think he's really underrated. You look at his stats and the quarterbacks he's played with. It's pretty outstanding, the stats he's been able to obtain with the pretty shit quarterback play he's had. So
I think he's staying put. I think they're going to pay him.
Yeah, no, I mean they should, but I think with Josh Downs playing the way he did, they might have think, hey, maybe we can get away with letting him go. So we'll see.
Alec Pierce over there,
a true one, I think,
yeah.
And I 2. Did I go out again?
Rose up there, yeah, you did.
Did I go out again?
Just to go back on what you were saying, Vin, with Amani Hooker, his cap hit on the team this year is going to be $9.3 million.
Who?
And
Amani
if we
Hooker.
Save all that,
yeah, then he's got to go. I think he could.
He's the fifth. He's the fifth highest paid guy on the team, next to Dilliard, Hopkins, Simmons, and Harold Landry.
Oh God, that just pains me that those guys, the majority of those guys, are getting paid so much, and
yeah,
I don't know if they're worth that. Again, I'm not. I was a little harsh on Harold Landry last year. I will admit it. At the end of the day, he did come off major injury. He had a fair end to the season, but I'm letting everybody know now. This year,
very, very solid end of the season.
He had a solid end of the season that meant nothing as far as our playoffs or anything. I mean, it's what it is. Regardless, this coming year, he needs to be absolutely a difference maker, or enough, okay? Because he's making elite edge rush money right now, and he's not playing elite
along the lines of converting some of that into a bonus this year to save some. Pay him what he's owed, but convert it. Do what a lot of teams do: convert it into a bonus.
I mean, they
some money.
That cap stuff, man. I mean, they can convert stuff into signing bonus that it's not going to go against the cap. So, I mean, who knows what they can do? I mean, that's the magic that the math people can do with the Titans, because I have no idea. But I mean, hell, you're going to see franchise tags. I don't even know if we're going to have anybody worthy. Highly doubt that we use the tag this year. But we're going to have a lot of money to spend on free agency, and I hope it goes to the defensive side of the ball, just like you're saying, cornerback, middle linebacker, an interior kind of guy. So, listen, that's my hard take on that.
Obviously, the combine is the first. That's the first big step in this whole process. I don't know how much the combine is going to change our draft board. I'm assuming it will, because it always does. They wouldn't have it if it really meant nothing. So, again, guys, before we continue, make sure if you want to call in, we got the number there in the description. We'll gladly talk it up with anyone in the chat that wants to discuss any of the current events here with our Titans. So feel free to call in. We'd love to hear anyone's thoughts. But as far as free agency goes, like we said, I think Autry's got to be a one guy that we really make an effort to sign. He deserves it. The last team he was on didn't give a shit about him. We should show him that we do, and I think we'll be rewarded for that. I think there's a lot of guys that I wouldn't mind see be part of possible trades if we needed to, possibly trade things. I love Amani Hooker, but that's a lot of money. I don't know if he's essentially worth that much money. It's a situation where I wouldn't be upset by any means if we continue to keep him on the team. He's definitely progressed year to year, but after what Jarett said about him making top 5 money on the team, I don't know about that. I don't know if he's worth that, but that's the smallest of our concerns right now. But we'll see. Like I said, combine draft, and then we'll see if we make any free agency moves before the draft. Obviously, that's going to answer all our questions. But it's getting crunch time now. I mean, what, combine's a week away next week?
Combine, I think, starts on Monday. Believe it or
Monday.
not.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I'm more excited for the start of free agency than anything else, because then we'll really know which way we're looking to go. And because if we sign one of these tackles, Tyrone Smith, Trent Brown, then we know we're going with the receiver, or Brock Bowers, whoever, tight end. But if we go, vice versa, get one of these receivers, maybe, it looks like we'll stay put and take all. So I'm more excited than free agency, just because it'll give us a better idea of what we do in the draft.
I got a really good question for you guys. I mean, we get like snake bitten at the left tackle position. Are you gonna release Andre Dillard and give Malik Becton a shot? The Jets former first round.
Why take another first round pick?
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the talent in the world. He just can't stay on the field, man. He's always hurt, that guy. So
we're gonna get a new strength and conditioning coach, so maybe that trend can end. But I don't like Dillard. And how much is he making again? Like
$9
Dillard,
million.
he is. Oh, where is it? Here it is. He is making, his cap hits $10.6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we got a lot of money to spend, but it's tough. You look at a number like that and you just say to yourself, that really blows. Like the fact that we're paying him double digit in the millions when he's just
yeah. But if we cut him, I think we're only going to save like $2.5 million.
No, I get it.
No,
I get
$7
it.
million.
I get it.
So,
but he's really not good. He's just not.
There's
good.
Listen to me. That should be the first cut come whatever it's available. February. I mean, not February. March 11th is the legal tampering. He should be released, starting the talks right there, right then and there, because he is not. He was a complete whiff, and he is not worth coming back on the team. I don't give a shit who the offensive line coach is or not. I mean, clearly he that's not going to fix anything. I don't care about his size or anything. So go out and get one of these guys. I don't even want Jonah Williams, who has ties to Brian Callahan, because he let up. He let up like 8-9 sacks last year. 8 sacks last year. I want a guy that's a proven right tackle or a left tackle if you're going after somebody. So
yeah, no, I agree 100%. And another guy that's been under the radar, he's gonna have to, make a statement or figure something out, is Nicholas Petit-Frere. I mean, this is going to be a big year. You know what I mean? Like if he's going to be a staple in this whole line, he's going to have to do it this year. You know what I mean? I don't know where they're thinking about starting him off to see where he's going to fit in this rotation for this coming year. But it's year 3 now. You had that bullshit last year that he dealt with. Certainly, I don't remember how he played when he was in. I don't even know how many games he played. Wasn't he hurt too when he came back?
Yeah, he didn't play much.
Yeah. I think he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. But he's another guy. He's a wild card in this whole thing.
We do have some questions, though, if we want to take some questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Throw them up.
What up, y'all? If this is from Volcano, who's obviously a volunteer fan, love it. What up, y'all? If Will Levis plays bad next year, you guys think we will get a quarterback in next year's class? No. Outside of Levis playing at a level of what's his name? Zach Wilson. I don't foresee the Titans at all thinking that they need to go back to the pool for another QB. I think he's done more than enough to show in the past calendar year that he is the guy that we are going to attempt to pursue a Lombardi trophy with. And I couldn't be happier. I think most of the fan base is as well. I think you two would agree.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Go ahead, Jarett.
No, if you were going after quarterback, I mean, it would obviously be in this year's class, and we're definitely not going quarterback in this class. Next year is going to be a little stale, believe it or not. I mean, there's executives in the NFLs that are saying that this is the year for moving up. It's going to be this year for our quarterback because they don't like any of the quarterbacks that are coming out next year. So it's a hard pass. No, I would like a proven veteran quarterback to come in, to help him, whether it be Gardner Minshew or somebody else. But I don't see us going in the draft at all for another quarterback next year. And there's going to be bumps in the road this year with Will Levis and Brian Callahan, because it's going to be his fourth new offense in a row, and obviously they're going to implement stuff. So it may be a little bumpy road in the beginning of the season, and it may take off, or it may, be vice versa. He may go skies to the limit, but you have to take the bumps this year if there are any, and we'll see what happens the following year.
And if there's ever a slump year for quarterbacks, sometimes in their development for whatever reason, usually that sophomore slump. So, we're not expecting to win the Super Bowl this year. We want to compete, so as long as he shows us that.
Will Levis expects to win the Super Bowl this year.
I love that, but, I want to just see him, progress and learn this offense. And as far as backups, I agree with you, Jarett. I wouldn't be opposed to a nice veteran who can teach him something, who knows his role. Someone like a Joe Flacco, maybe. I wouldn't hate that. Guy's been in the league forever, South Jersey's finest. Showed he can come in and still sling it if, God forbid, he needed to. But yeah, as far as starting quarterback, I mean, God forbid, even if Levis did play bad next year, you're not getting off this rookie deal. You're going to give him a shot.
Listen, call me crazy, but I wouldn't mind Malik being the backup for the next couple of years.
Yeah,
I really wouldn't.
Development.
He's been in the system. He's been with the organization. Obviously, as shitty as he's played, the athleticism's not going anywhere. It's still there. It's still top of the charts. So, God, I mean, and you don't have to pay him anything. What they still probably have him for another 2 years, right? If they wanted.
Yeah. So, the only thing I can see is them wanting Levis to have a veteran who's been around the league for a long time. Just for him a little.
Levis is already acting like a veteran, though. So that's why I don't really think he needs that.
Yeah, but you still
don't think any player doesn't need it. I think it can't hurt.
Yeah, when I talked to Hasselback at Radio Row, he said that I said Will Levis needs to start sliding. He goes, yeah, that's why when I was in a quarterback room and the veteran said it, or I told the young guy to say, hey, I thought I can hit Ray Lewis and I got my bell rung, so I started sliding after that moment. So when he has a veteran quarterback in the room, I think that's, and Tannehill was, whether anybody likes it or not, he was, and he probably helped him out as best as he can. But you got guys out there like Jameis Winston who could probably step in if you don't want to go to Malik route. And you also have Sam Darnold, who was under Kyle Shanahan, and he won a Super Bowl. He's seen the whole process, not won a Super Bowl, went to a Super Bowl, seen the whole process of how to prepare and everything like that, familiar with Ran. So that's just guys like emergency style quarterbacks. So
I know
don't say no. Don't say no to Jameis.
Fan. I know you're a Seminole fan there, Jarett. That's the only reason you brought his name up.
Yeah, but he can sling it, though.
Absolute atrocity. No, he can sling it to other.
And he's a turnover machine. Yeah.
Yes, he slings it to everyone. Everyone, wide receivers, cornerbacks, safeties, he throws it to everyone. And then the thing with the fake spike, like that was the last straw for me. Like, go be a fucking broadcaster, dude. You're annoying as hell. But we'll see. Again, I wouldn't mind Malik just because I just love Malik as he's just such a great person. And I did have a lot of stock in him many moons ago, so wouldn't hurt to still have him around and maybe at least give him a shot at a backup spot. But nevertheless, we'll find out. Sammy, you got any other questions for us? Let's see here. Titan South asked, do y'all think we go after Brandon Ayuk or possibly Mike Evans? Absolutely possible. Like we said earlier, if T. Higgins is a no-go, and obviously this Jay Jetta situation is far stretch, those guys are on that wave of veteran guys that are either at the end of their contract or up for new ones. So hell yeah, bring it on. I'd love Mike Evans. Obviously Ayuk, you got the younger guy there, obviously faster, which, younger and faster is something we definitely need at the receiver position. But Mike Evans is an absolute, contested catch machine, which when you got a QB like Levis who's got balls and throws it down there, you need a guy who can moss people, and he sure can. So both are definitely awesome secondary options if all of our top tier options aren't available, of course.
I don't see it. I don't see them paying someone like Evans who's going to want to get one last contract for $20-25 million a year. He's 32, 33 years old. I don't think we're going to pay him that money, especially when we have an older guy. Ayuk, I'd be a little less surprised if they went after him. Again, going to command 15-20 a year. I think a great piece for a team that's, one or two pieces away. I see more of a conservative approach at the receiver position with I keep pounding the table for Tyler Boyd on a 2-year deal for $8 to $9 million a year. Someone who could, even someone who could stretch the field a little bit. Not that I want Hollywood Brown or Darnell Mooney, but this offense lacks a lot of speed at the receiver position. So a short-term deal for one of those guys I could see, but committing $20 to $25 million a year for Mike Evans at his age, even though he is a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer, I don't see them being I don't see that being the Titans move right now. And Ayuk, I don't know. I do like him, but for 15 to 20 million a year, I wouldn't.
Mike Evans is getting 25 still at his age?
20 to 25, sure.
I don't know about that.
I think if he goes somewhere for less, it'll be a short deal on a contending team like Baltimore, Kansas City. How crazy that would be with Mahomes and Mike Evans. But, if I could see him taking a 2-year, $30 million deal fully guaranteed to go play with Mahomes for 2 years. But if he wants to, there will be a team that'll pay him, probably $20, $25 million a year for sure.
I'm all in on Ayuk. If they want to go after Ayuk in a trade,
I like Ayuk. How old is Ayuk? I gotta find that out. I think he's like 27,
25.
Yeah, I think. Well, he's going into his 5th year, so he's got to be somewhere around there. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I absolutely would go after him. I have no problem with him at all. Because, like I said, even if they don't go after T and T wants to come next year, absolutely, I'll go grab T. Ayuk, yes, Ayuk, absolutely. He's got the Rand ties. You would have to, possibly do a trade, I think, to get him. I don't know if he's still technically a free agent. Maybe it's unrestricted or something. But yes, absolutely, I would go after him. Yeah,
I mean, listen, I really like Marquise Brown too, to be honest.
I was going to ask you guys about that.
Yeah, I mean, he had a rough start.
But
when he's had good quarterback play, he's done pretty well. And God, I mean, the speed, you don't need to even talk about it. The speed, he would be the fastest guy on the team instantly. So that right there is big. And a guy with Levis with the arm he has, the more speed, the better. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's just the reality of it. So definitely a guy I would keep an eye on. I don't know what Arizona's situation is. I mean, they traded for him. So I couldn't imagine they're going to be so quick to get rid of him when they've had success with him. But I don't know what his situation is.
I think they're going to stay put and take Marvin Harrison Jr. and they like Rondell Moore a lot. So that's a nice little start for them. So I could see Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown being expendable to them. We'll see.
Yeah, listen, it always happens. There's always a guy that you think is absolutely locked to play for the same team next year. Then all of a sudden, they just can't make it work. And there he is.
I don't want to overpay a guy like Gabe Davis or someone like that.
No, I don't want Gabriel Davis. No. I don't want him. He drops the ball way too much. Too much. Yeah. Everyone looks good with Josh Allen. Literally everyone. So, I want a guy that's gritty. That's, why I love Michael Pittman Jr. because he's had a lot of success with guys that are ready to kick the can. That literally every QB he's played with, they pretty much retired the next year. And he's had 2,000 or 3,000 yard seasons already. So I really like him. He's got size. And again, maybe they view him as expendable because they have some other options. We don't know. I don't know yet, but we're going to get somebody, and we're going to get somebody that I think we're all going to be happy with. And that's what's most important because I just don't want to go into next season with any more question marks at receiver. I want to know what the future is, and that's just it. I want to know what the plan is of that position going into September. So we'll see. But any other questions before we wrap up tonight, Sammy? What is your biggest worry for next season? Simple for me. It'll take 10 seconds. Keeping Will Levis upright. That's it. That's the bottom line. If we can do that, we're going to be successful. We're going to be in the hunt for the AFC South. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If he doesn't get sacked 5, 6, 7 times a game, we will be in contention every single week. He has the talent level. He has the mindset and the drive, and that's it. So that's my only worry.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on that one because it's 2 years now after Taylor Lewan has left. The left tackle's been a swinging door. If we don't go Ola, if we don't go Patrick Paul in the draft, yes, Titans South. If we do draft Malik Neighbors, it would be electric. But they have to find a way in free agency and the draft to build that line to protect him because I'm sick and tired of the quarterback, being hurried. He has 1 second to throw the ball to read the defense, and then us over here are picking apart Ryan Tannehill. picking apart Malik Willis, picking apart Will Levis because he doesn't have time to make his first read and he's got to scramble. So, yes, protecting the quarterback is the biggest worry going into next year.
Yeah, especially we've been traumatized in the past with Mariota's injury riddles. We thought, all three of us that he was going to be our guy for a while. So, and that injury his second year kind of derailed the rest of his career, in my opinion, at least. I mean, he was having a phenomenal second year and then broke his leg, and that was really it for him and his, career as a starter. So, yeah, keeping him upright, do it at all costs, draft all, assign offensive linemen. Yeah, got to keep him upright. And that defense, too. I worry about that. The defense that I was once so high on is now looking like it's falling apart piece by piece. And
I love this new DC, though. I really, really do.
So do I. I'm a big fan of him as well, and hopefully he brings someone with him from Baltimore, like Jarett said. But, that secondary's thin, that linebacking core is thin. Questions on the defensive line outside of Simmons. What do we do with Autry? How does Landry play this year with a full season, off season being healthy? So aside from keeping Levis upright, that defense, especially because these offenses in the AFC South now are going to be a little more higher powered.
A little.
CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson seemed like he was doing the right things before he got hurt, and then Jacksonville. I'm not ready to give up on. Not to say I'm ready to give up on, but we still got to. Show some respect for Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson. So,
listen, chat. Oh my God, I hate when I do that. I said chat like I'm at work. Guys, I want to let everyone know: don't sleep on Anthony Richardson, man. I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to be back next year. And if you thought he was good last year before he got hurt, which I think a lot of people would agree he was good, it's going to be even better. Obviously, he's going to be a whole nother offseason into the NFL. He's going to have more chemistry with his coaches and his players. I think we're forgetting that the most athletic person in the entire division is Anthony Richardson, and it's not even close. So, that's something that I don't hear enough people talking about. Everyone's like CJ Stroud, and listen, Stroud had an amazing year, and we can expect him to get better too. But nobody's talking about AR, man, and it's scary. I think that the Colts are going to be real dangerous if they have any kind of weapons around this kid, and they definitely have some young talent. So.
He's someone who's gonna have to learn to adjust his style as well, or he won't last.
But here's the thing, though. I saw him play real NFL style football before he got hurt. In my humble opinion, the way they were using him, he didn't look like a Lamar Jackson the way they were using him. He looked like a real fucking
he's lower than shoulder. He runs.
So does Josh Allen.
That's his style. Well, Josh Allen's also 6'5".
So does Will Levis. He needs to learn that side too.
Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson are basically the same size.
Well, either way, that style is you live by it, you die by it. Josh Allen hasn't gotten hurt yet, but Anthony Richardson's gotten hurt in year one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We could say that their size is comparable, but Josh Allen, was probably a little bit better of a passer, in my opinion. And to say what you want about him, he's not really, I don't think anyone's really worried about the way he plays because he's proved his body can handle it. Anthony Richardson hurt in year one, so it's an uphill battle for him. But I agree. Kid's got all the ability in the world, and I think they keep Michael Pittman as well because Anthony Richardson's development would be, a lot better for the Colts if they kept so long.
Yeah, of course.
Same reason why we need to keep, DeAndre Hopkins around. The development for Will Levis.
Yeah, man. How great was that tweet we saw from him when they had that report, man? I mean, what a sigh of relief because I'm telling you, it was a worry of mine, and obviously you guys know I've said it, sporadically throughout the offseason, how I have a little bit of fear that because of the money he's going to make, they might try to say, I don't know if it's worth it because we're not feeling like we're going to be contenders next year, but that's obviously put to bed. This guy likes it here. He already named Levis as a top 3 QB he's ever played with, which is clearly high praise with some of the players he's been around. So I'm happy with it. But let's do a quick speed round. We got a couple more questions. We'll throw them in real quick, and then we're gonna jump off for the night. First question: you actually believe the Vikings would trade Jefferson? No, I don't. I think they're gonna do absolutely everything in their power to keep him. And the fact that I think this is all just clickbait. What you're seeing on Twitter.
I see it happening because of the fact that if they, like I said, the NFL executives see that there's a lot of talent in this year's quarterback class, and if they want to move up for that quarterback, that's fine with me. If Rand wants to make a deal for Jet for 2 first-round draft picks, a second next year, and a 4th, give me Jet. I'm totally all about it.
If they package it for
yes,
a high,
absolutely,
get to move
and
to 3.
I think I think they absolutely would do it if they value JJ McCarthy, because JJ McCarthy is getting a lot of steam coming into this draft right now. You guys could shake your head all you want. I don't like the kid, coming out, but these high NFL executives and scouts,
they're not trading Jay Jetta for JJ McCarthy though. They're not.
I'm just saying, if they need a quarterback, and this is the class to do it. And this is the class to do it.
If you have, because you don't really know how any team values a quarterback that's coming out, but if you think that you have the guy and you can make a move to get him, and you have the ammunition, especially because they drafted Jordan Addison last year, who had a pretty solid.
Right, I forgot about Jordan Addison.
Pretty solid rookie year. I mean, yeah, the Vikings have a penchant for drafting good receivers. Good for them. But if you feel like Addison could be a true one, and you have a guy like Jefferson from LSU who you think you could go get, and he could be your guy for the next 15 years, and you don't want to pay Justin Jefferson 35 million a year, because that is what he will get. He will set the record for receivers. I'm talking 150 million for 5 years, 30
and
million.
They'll do it with a smile.
With probably 100 million guaranteed. We're talking that kind of deal for someone like him, who's on a pace to break everyone's record.
Everyone.
You're talking Jerry Rice. You're talking Terrell Owens. You're talking Randy Moss. He's in that
with Kirk Cousins. Cousins.
I like Kirk Cousins.
I do too, but that just shows you how good he is, man. Kirk is not in the top 20 quarterbacks in the league.
Right from a different call. So, if I was Minnesota, I would look to keep him around any way possible. But that being said, if you like a quarterback, and quarterbacks are always at a premium, we know that, and you have the ammunition to go get him, and that is Justin Jefferson, I could most definitely see it happening.
Imagine, wait a sec, how fucking perfect would this be, right? Just the way we lose our fucking franchise receiver just 3 years prior, we obtain our new future receiver the same exact way.
In the new stadium. In the new stadium.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's in like 2 more years.
No, I'm saying.
That would
get asses in the seats.
That would just be the most fitting way ever.
Jersey sales, money.
Of course.
Absolutely.
We would have some sick nickname for him. Obviously, we'd figure something out. I mean, it would be ideal. It would be excellent. But it's just not going to happen. It's just certain things, even us can't get away with happening. The Clowney thing was historical at the time. And then the Julio thing was crazy. And the Hopkins thing was – but this –
would be
even a little too much.
There would be a Sal Manfredi.
No.
Let me finish. Sal Manfredi late night thought tweet on potential nickname already for him.
Everybody listening right now, tune in 3:00 in the morning because it's coming. The late night thought is coming tonight.
Forget it.
The Jefferson Hopkins duo nickname would be. Sal thinks I'm real clever too. Don't worry.
Forget if it actually happened, like what I would do.
His gears are turning right now. Look at him.
I'm thinking about it. Thinking about what kind of spectacle I'd put on Twitter if that shit happened.
Great thoughts usually come to him at odd hours in the morning. So I'm waking up to a 4:30 a.m. text. By the way, I'm in on Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I was for that 12-hour period of time.
Which I'm curious to see where he goes, man. I think he could slip a little, and you could see a team look to try to trade up to get him. And let's keep in mind, this kid once said I'd like to play for the Tennessee Titans, which even if we don't get him, who said that? Who really has ever said that?
Because of this motherfucker right here. That's why. That's why. Because Showtime is back in Nashville, and we got ourselves. I swear to God, I'm so upset I didn't do it. One day when I have some time, I'm going to go through it. If you guys have not seen Will Levis compete in the ping pong tournament at the Pro Bowl, it's one of the most excellent watches of all time. And I say this because there are so many things that take place during this competition, between the fact that he went berserk on Trevor Lawrence. So, and this was stone cold, straight face the whole time. He wanted to kill him. Trevor Lawrence looked embarrassed the entire time. And then some other guy tried to talk shit to Levis, and he's like, he looked at him like, what are you talking about? And then when he got interviewed with Kay Adams, he talked shit about the other guy, who then wound up kicking his ass. But you saw him get upset when he got his ass kicked.
For him, and you saw how competitive he was in that.
Dude, this is literally what you need to win in the NFL. You cannot go the last step unless you have what this guy has. If you look at the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in the last decade, maybe outside of even Stafford has that edge where even if my fucking shoulder is out of my fucking socket, if I have an opportunity to win us a football game and get us close to a Super Bowl, I'm going to do it. And, obviously Mahomes is just, of another dimension, but you need it. You need the Brady edge, and this kid has it. So sky's the fucking limit, man. That's all we can say. You know what I mean?
Makes the sign of the cross. Love it.
One more, Sammy. Throw it at us. I believe with how intelligent Levis is and how great a teacher he has, that they will mesh together great and he will fly high for us. Go Blue. That's an excellent comment, Ed. Thank you so much, Sam. Let's get one more question up, and then we're going to fly on out of here. We need a wide receiver one in the future. You guys think we get it this offseason or next season? Obviously, 100%. One of these two off seasons, we're going to get a 21-year-old kid that we're going to hope to grow old with Will Levis. I'd say better chances it's going to be this year than next, but obviously it could be next year if we're going to invest all in on DeAndre being our number one again next year, which is okay, but obviously that's just short term. So we'll see how that
Either
works.
way, you should get some help this year, whether it's a true one, a complimentary two. Whether we go Dunes, Neighbors, or go after like a Tyler Boyd, this kid needs some sort of upgrade at the receiver position, whether it's a true one, yet to be seen. But
be prepared for them to bring Burks into it. I'm just telling you, because again, as unfortunate as his first two seasons have been, he's still a top 20 pick, 2 years ago. So, and he's shown the flashes. So hopefully that's not the case. I told you guys I'm done with it. I can't wait any longer. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rand and Brian kind of still have some stock in 16. And if they do, obviously we're still going to back them. But we're hoping that we have some more comfortable options that we can rely on long term. And right now, Burks is not one of them. So we'll see. Listen, we had a great live show tonight. Thanks for everyone for joining in. The questions are fantastic. We've been getting a lot of positive traction with our shows lately, and we obviously appreciate that greatly. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell to know when we're going live or when our post-game wrap-ups are going to be coming up later on in the next coming months, obviously, for next season. So, that's it. You guys want to add anything in before we close out for tonight?
No, stay tuned for our Wednesday show to drop and see if we have any special guests or fan reactions on that show. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope for it, of course. The more interaction we get with you guys, the better off we're all going to be, and that's what we're here for. So hope everyone has a fantastic rest of their week. We'll keep you guys up to date on when we're going to be up next and when we'll be live next, and that's all she wrote. So tighten up, and as always, Sammy, you can send on us out. Send us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.